Other cauldrons I've seen on the net use water and dry ice to create the mist effect, or they use a small ultrasonic mister buried in the water. This technique uses your existing fog machine and ice or frozen water bottles to create chilled fog that gives you the same effect. Just a different technique. Here's a shot of it at night with the green light showing up through it. If you want to see how to make it, stay tuned. Okay, here's how you make it. I got a 20-inch plastic cauldron from Party City. In the bottom of that, I drilled a 2-inch hole and put a same size piece of PVC and hot glued the edges. For the green glowing effect, I got CFLs from Lowe's that are tinted green. They have a pretty good effect. Since these lights have the potential of being exposed to dripping water from the melting ice, I must warn you to please adhere to proper electrical safety procedures when wiring your lights up. Make sure you have good drain holes on the bottom and provide some means of keeping the light bulb sockets off the bottom of the cauldron to keep them out of the wetness. To keep water off the lights, I have a domed piece of Tupperware. Make sure you drill holes underneath for drainage. On top of the Tupperware, I've got some 1/2-inch PVC and one of those cross-type connectors just laid on top of the Tupperware, no connecting. On top of the PVC, I have a piece of steel mesh to support the ice or frozen water bottles. This also provides a small expansion chamber for the fog just below where the ice is at. Now put your fog machine right up against the 2-inch PVC input at the bottom of the cauldron. You want this to be a little bit of a close fit since you're forcing the fog up through the ice. If it's not real close, you may get from the back pressure some of the fog pushing out through the input pipe. Here's a shot with the lights on, no ice in the cauldron, and the fog just coming up with the green light highlighting it. Here's the same setup with the lights turned off. Notice even without the fog being chilled, it's still kind of a cool effect with the green light shining up through the fog like that. Now I've added frozen water bottles to the top of the platform that will provide the cooling. Ice will work just as well. I've turned the fog machine on. Now the fog's being forced up through the water bottles and being chilled. You can definitely see the difference in effect between that shot and the one that was shot without the ice in it. Same setup again, this time with the lights off. Now the pictures are all good, but they really don't do it justice until you see some video. Here's a shot of the fog first turned on. It's filling up the cauldron slowly. It's bubbling. Effects is pretty cool, and eventually it'll reach the top of the cauldron and start to overflow on the sides. Now you'll see a little bit of hot fog coming around the fog machine and going up because I didn't have the fog machine right up against the PVC. Maybe a better seal would help on that. Here's a shot of it with the lights off, and you can really get the eerie bubbling cauldron effect. If you have a low volume fog machine, you can keep the fog just going the whole time. If you have a really high volume machine, it would still work, but you might get too much fog. You just have to experiment and see what you can come up with. I think it's a nice effect and would be a good addition to any cackling witch in your Halloween haunt this year.